These were some of Inside Edition's most popular stories of 2024. In January, it was man versus coyote. Timothy Snipe was in his yard in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina with his pint-sized chihuahua named Roxy. Suddenly, Roxy noticed a coyote and ran right for it. Timothy spoke to Ann Mercogliano.
What did you think when you first saw the coyote?
I thought he was going to grab her and take her back in the woods.
Timothy fought the coyote to save his dog. After the animal bit him a couple times, he grabbed it by the tail.
He actually jumped on me and I fought him. He actually bit me on my legs.
He carried the animal over to a garbage bin and dropped him inside. Animal control showed up to take the coyote away. Afterward, Timothy said from now on, Roxy would be wearing this spiky harness to deter wild animals.
So in the moment I thought, like, if I were to cry, that was over for me, like I would die.
In February, Kennedy Littledike from Nampa, Idaho, shared how she survived a terrifying car accident.
And then it happened so quickly, and I started to go off the road on the left side, and I overcorrected too far, and I went off the road on the right side, and my side of the vehicle hit the power pole, and it flipped us sideways, and we started flipping and rolling, and we didn't have our seatbelts on. So when we were flipping and rolling, I was the first one out, and I wasn't on the ground. I was actually hanging in the power line by my broken leg, and I was hanging up there, and in the process of getting thrown, my arm was actually torn off and was hanging on by the skin on my back, and then my femur was snapped over the wire and hanging in front of my face. And so you can see it in the picture that it's all twisted. But I was awake this whole time. This is just like, I never passed out. I never lost communication with the people underneath me. I was talking the whole time.
Doctors couldn't save her leg.
And I just, in that moment, you're 16 years old, all your dreams that you had in your head, and like, I don't know, they're all like gone. The nurses and everything, they were like, I want you to touch it. And I looked at them and I was like, hell no. I was like, I'm not doing that. And then 10 minutes later went by and I touched it, and I like cried again a little bit because it's real. It's not just like in my head. But then as like within 20 minutes, I was totally fine with it. Like I literally named it. I named my nub Gobi. And I made a whole dance for it. Go Gobi. Go Gobi. I don't know what happened to me in the hospital, but I just had like such a smooth transfer from such a bad mental health state to like such a positive one. After that, I kind of was like, well, it's whatever. Like, I have a pretty sick story, and why not share it?
In January, DNA test results confirmed the true age of Natalia Grace, who was at the center of a bizarre controversy for years.
Hi, Natalia. Hi.
In 2010, Natalia was adopted by a family from Indiana who was told that she was a 7-year-old Ukrainian orphan. But her adoptive parents, Michael and Christine Barnett, claimed she was really an adult with dwarfism posing as a child.
She's got a monthly cycle, and she's hiding it. She had spent every waking day attempting to ruin everybody else's life in the house. She's threatening to kill us. She's trying to kill us.
Their story made headlines when the Barnetts petitioned the court to legally change her age to 22, left her in an apartment, and fled to Canada. They were charged with neglect of a dependent, but were fully exonerated.
I want you to know how old I am.
Earlier this year in a Discovery docuseries, Natalia took a DNA test to try to prove once and for all how old she was.
Want to take a look at the results?
Yes. As Natalia held the hand of her new adoptive father, she learned that DNA tests showed she was currently 22 years old, which means she was 9, not an adult, when she was adopted in 2010.
This is so big because literally this has been 13 years. 13 years of just two people lying their butts off.
This is one of the more twisted cases I've ever covered. This case, you're up and down. You're believing one side, then you're believing the other side.
In March, Angela Chow, the sister-in-law of Senate Minority Leader Mitchell McConnell, lost her life after backing her Tesla into a pond.
We tragically lost Elaine's younger sister, Angela, just a few weeks ago.
Angela's sister, Elaine Chow, was Secretary of Transportation during the Trump administration. Stephen Fabian has more.
The billionaire shipping heiress was attempting to make a three-point turn at her ranch outside Austin, Texas, when she reportedly put her Tesla into reverse instead of drive, sending the vehicle into a pond on her property. Now, according to reports, Chow first called her friends on the phone for help, and one actually jumped into the water in an attempt to rescue her, but was unable to break the Tesla's window.
In June, Kaitlin Palmieri was forced to put her life back together after learning her ex-fiance wasn't who she thought he was.
We weren't staying in the same room the night before the wedding, and I woke up to the hotel phone ringing. It was my mom, but I just was kind of like, what time is it? Like, you know, where's with my hair appointment? Like, am I late? And I just remember her saying, like, you have to come down to the lobby. Just something was did not sound right. I was just like, why? And she was like, just please come down to the lobby. And I was like, what is going on? She's like, you just need to come down. And I was like, absolutely not until you tell me what's going on. I just knew something was wrong. I know my mom well enough. And then I just said, I'm not doing anything until you tell me what's going on. And she said, Eric died in the middle of the night.
Eric died of a heart attack. He was 33 years old.
I gave up. Like, I was like, there's no point to anything. Like, I'm done. I was so deflated. I was so deflated.
Social media helped her connect with others grieving.
It's such an incredible community, you know, of people who go through horrific things and like survive them and are honest about it.
But it also led her to a shocking revelation.
And the first thing I see, it was just like a post, and it was a picture of a conversation of two people. And one was like one person saying happy birthday to, and it was his last name. And then the response was like hearts. And I'm like, just so confused. So I reach out to her and I'm like, I'm just confused. Like, did you know Eric? Like, what was your relationship with him? And then she told me.
Her fiance was having an affair throughout their relationship.
My body definitely went numb. I met an angry side of me that I had never met before. And when that happened, there was like a voice inside me who was like, F that. I'm not wasting one more minute on this man in this way. I am not going to turn this on me.
After Kaitlin learned of Eric's secret life, she stopped grieving his loss.
I have zero feelings for him. That's just reality. I see him for what he was, and that is who he was. It's just cruel. What it's done, what I will say, like, weirdly, that blessing came from, like, it felt like everything else in my life brightened. Like, he went dark, and so it gave light to everything else.
In August, Judge Mendy Glazer recognized the suspect in her burglary case.
Did you go to Nautilus for middle school?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
In 2016, the two former classmates came face to face in a setting that neither could have ever expected.
This is the nicest kid in middle school.
Oh my goodness.
He was the best kid in middle school. I used to play football with him, all the kids, and look what has happened. I am so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Arthur Booth's shame was visible for everyone to see. Les Trent has more.
Arthur Booth served 10 months in prison on the burglary rap. He was released in 2016. And guess who gave him a pep talk? That same judge.
Take care of your family, try and get a job, stay clean. This is a group effort to see you succeed. Don't let us down.
I won't. I promise not to.
Earlier this year, Booth got in trouble again and found himself before the same judge. This time, he was charged with a string of robberies and break-ins. Booth was so embarrassed he couldn't look her in the eye. Judge Glazer recused herself because of their connection.
I can't hear your case. I'm going to get another judge to hear it, okay? So if you have a seat, somebody else will be here. Hope things work out for you.
In February of 2024, a New York City musician was viciously bashed in the head by a random stranger. The woman lurked behind him, moved in, and then picked up the cellist's metal water bottle before whacking him.
In the middle of one of the songs that I was doing, I just felt this impact, this terrible crashing pain along the back of my head.
Ian Forrest, a third-year medical student at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan, played in the subway because he enjoyed performing for people.
It does, anger you that just in the subway station, you're doing your own thing, that could all be broken in a quick moment with an act of violence and hatred. It definitely gives me pause to want to say, do I want to go back and do this again and put myself out there in harm's way?
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.